Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. We will be reviewing the RICOCHET anti-cheat system that was announced today by Call of Duty and RICOCHET themselves. They're boasting a lot of effective programs. We'll see what they have to say. We'll review some other causes. Not only that, but we'll also get into some more Battlefield news over the beta. Was it really the game that we thought it was as far as the beta, or was it a month-old game, or do they still have a lot of bugs? Stay tuned for more information. If you liked today's video, as well as anything else that I may have coming up, be sure to like this video and hit follow on the page. Stay tuned to my updates. A kernel-based anti-cheat, or a kernel-based software program, anything kernel-based, is actually very straight down to the root of how your computer works. So if you were to think of it as a Dante's Inferno kind of setting, the game, software, everything is kind of at the highest level, at the crust. As you work your way down to the core, the kernel is down at the very core of the computer where all the fundamental programs work. The reason this is so good is because it's the foundation of where all these drivers, all these programs are, everything's based off of that. So the kernel at the very bottom is the main focus of all these programs running around. So to get around this, if somebody were to make a better anti-cheat, it would have to be a very, very sophisticated anti-cheat to do this. Normally, any programs that come out, the anti-cheat that's out, or the cheat systems that are out there right now for Warzone, they're kind of very simple. They're kind of slapped on add-ons. They turn on when the game's turned on or right before the game's turned on, and it kind of gives you that edge. It gives you those filters in the game, kind of helps you do that. This system of the kernel would be fundamentally deeper than that, stop that at the root of anything launching. And if it detected anything launching, it would either stop your game from working or give you all these warnings that prevented you from launching the game and make you either close those out or uninstall them before you go further. A little bit, hopefully there's a little bit more explanation here. Here we go. What is a kernel level anti-cheat? So the kernel is the core of your operating system, as I had discussed, and it runs at the lowest level possible. Essentially, it's a computer program and it has complete control over your system. Now, the other side to this, if you skip down potential risk and problems, again, this is from level.com. These are computer nerds. They try and break stuff down as much as possible. I mean, whether you're going to come down and look at posts for every fundamental part of the computer, it's going to give you all that stuff. They are very popular guide-driven website. Really recommend them. So if you go down here, the biggest thing is, the biggest cause of concern is the anti-cheat itself can turn out to be vulnerable. And there are several reasons for this. Now, if it belongs to the very basics of the core program and it's running, if you may have other software that for some reason it does not understand, it may create a false positive and either shut that program down or not allow you to run certain things, whether it be the game itself, or you may have other drivers that are causing it to defect and cause issues that way. Excuse me. So where's the other part of it? Here we go. Since your kernel level anti-cheat will block all drivers, it's considered vulnerable. All programs that depend on those drivers will fail to run while the anti-cheat is active, and it's active since the very system boot. Now, since it's part of the kernel, it means once you turn that computer on, it's on. There's no turning it off unless you uninstall it or remove it, and even uninstalling something at kernel base can be kind of difficult. False positives are possible, but if your anti-cheat blocks a driver on your PC, you should check if there's a new version available. So at launch, this is set to launch November 5th, right when the game comes out. The new version of Call of Duty Vanguard comes out. We get the new map, we get the anti-cheat, we get everything all at once. This is coming out hopefully in a month. That's hopefully enough time to get the word out about this and have some of your computer programs or some of your other devices that require the drivers for it to update their settings to adjust for this. Now, even in that sense, is it not enough time for the hacking programs that are out there to create some sort of runaround for it? That's the next article. No one cares about the ad. So this is from Vice.com. Vice loves, for those of you that don't know, Vice is very, I don't want to say belligerent, but they look for ways to play devil's advocate they really want to get the full word on everything. So this is very fundamental with what we're looking at. So Cheat Maker is not afraid of Call of Duty's new kernel level anti-cheat, and this is published today, 12:56 p.m., October 13, 2021. Activision announced the launch of a kernel level anti-cheat system called RICOCHET to fight cheaters. Already we have another cheating program out there, a developer that says, we're not worried. I haven't read this article, but just skim through here. First part is saying, we'll be announcing the upcoming game, later date. Oh, here we go. Okay. Activision said the system will be deployed first with an update to Call of Duty Warzone, which we'll get first as we were playing that mostly, and will then be integrated into the upcoming Call of Duty Vanguard at a later date. So it looks like Vanguard is already in motion to get released. They've been focusing on Warzone this whole time. That is their primary concern, so that's good for us. Thank you, Jess, for the like. So here we go. PC level kernel driver monitors and reports applications that attempt to interact with Call of Duty Warzone, allowing the RICOCHET anti-cheat team to determine if a machine is utilizing unauthorized processes to manipulate the game. Sorry, I'm getting really excited and talking faster than I should. So at least one developer of Warzone cheats so far is not deterred by RICOCHET, although their comments may be more marketing fluff than anything else. So a lot of people talk the talk, but do they walk the walk? We've already had a long time dose of cheaters, so we'll see what this means. So this is the developer talking. This is Phantom Overlay talking, which actually develops a lot of the cheats out there, some of the bigger cheats for the system. There's actually quite a few systems out there to develop cheats for this game, whether it be something through a subscription base. I mean, I've made jokes about it. You pay $5 a month, you get all these cheating software apps, you put them into the game, you get to cheat, you get to shoot wherever you want, and your bullets magically find your enemies, for those that don't know how these work. Or you can end up getting alerts on your screen, and it taps into the developer code of the game and actually tells you how far enemies are, kind of a hitbox, highlights them even through the walls. So that's the big thing about these cheats. Phantom Overlay is one of those guys that does those programs, one of the bigger ones. I'm not familiar with how they run it as far as subscription or just a flat out rate, but here they are speaking to that announcement today. Oh, got another ad. Hello, Ricochet Anti-Cheat. Goodbye Warzone, only competitors who copy and paste from unknown cheats. The cheat developer, Phantom Overlay, wrote one of its Telegram channels. They continue, goodbye rage cheaters filling every lobby. Goodbye hacker versus hacker. Hello Phantom Overlay. Hello kernel mode. Hello legitimate looking cheating. Hello fun. So that's already them picking at not only the game itself and Ricochet coming out with this anti-cheat, but it's picking fun at the other cheat makers out there, saying that your software will probably get deleted and removed, but my software will continue to provide what my customers have been buying. And here we are with the breakdown. Rage cheaters refers to players who use cheats in games in a way that makes it obvious to other players that they are cheating, as opposed to players who try to use cheats subtly without being detected. The developer is suggesting that Ricochet stopped rage cheaters, but not more subtle cheaters. So this is another thing. I mean, a lot of times you see it as very noticeable. I have a video a while back where there was a guy just not even aiming, just shooting. He's nailing all his marks. He's across the map. So blatantly obvious. So with this, it's one of those things that maybe you don't get that blatant one. You don't get the magic bullets, but you still get wall hacks, which means when there's a wall and there's somebody behind it, you actually get an alert right on that wall of where somebody is behind them, so you get the alert that there's somebody there, and you can already anticipate them coming around the corner. That seems to be what Phantom Overlay is talking about. Or they may come up with some other system with a name like Phantom Overlay. Maybe something just pops up, it's a heads-up display, could be anything. Oh, here we go. So an administrator for Phantom Overlay who goes by the handle Zblur told Motherboard that the hard part for the Ricochet team will be to be effective in kernel against us, which I do not believe they will be, especially at first, and even more so with non-invasive approach. So that's the other thing with all these cheats, all these computer hacks, anti-cheats, software, programs, hardware. It's all computer based. All computers have an access code. There's nothing that's 100% foolproof in anything. There's always a way around it. There's always a way to uncover stuff, work around anything you do. That's why all these mods come out for games, cheats. The PC system is so open. Consoles are a little bit more closed off, so is Apple. That doesn't mean that they're unbreakable, but it's just so much easier on a Windows system just because it's so open to be able to navigate stuff, go in there, modify files, and that's what they're talking about. You can sit there and say that your anti-cheat or your anti-hacking program is going to be at the core basis of the computer, but anybody that's familiar with the computer will be able to access that in some way at some length. Maybe not now, but maybe in a week, 2 weeks, a month, who knows? So that's not always 100% effective for these. It's hopeful, but only time will tell where we sit with it. So they just continue to talk on. Looks like they're just kind of puffing their collars like it originally said. Looks like they're just trying to sell their program even harder, using this as a moment to say, hey, all the you cheaters out there that are probably paying minimal dollars for your cheats, and now this anti-cheat's coming out is going to get shut down. Pay a premium, we get a little bit better cheat, you can continue your fun. Which, like I said, I still don't see that as fun, cheating in a game. The game, like, come on, seriously. So, and then this is just what we saw yesterday, what we talked about in the video. The Call of Duty's open letter to cheaters. I won't go into it again. But it will be interesting to see. There's been a lot of both sides, well, mostly happiness from everybody that plays Warzone, saying, hell, great, we're finally getting this anti-cheat 2 years in. Kind of cut down the hackers. I'm just trying to stay neutral and kind of open-minded, balanced on this, unbiased. We don't know what's going to happen. I personally, like I've said before, haven't run into that many cheaters, but I'm also not at a higher level of the game or higher KD where I would get matched with those people. Like I also talked about yesterday on the SBMM, skill-based matchmaking. I'm not paired up with people with high KDs that often, so I really wouldn't run into it as much. It is interesting. In the end run, you have so many streamers on here on the Facebook platform that do stream this game that are high KDs. They're up there with these cheaters. Not saying that any of the streamers on here are cheaters, but they're on that level where they would get paired up with those cheaters even more because of their KD ratios. That's kill death ratios for anybody watching that is not familiar with the lingo. It will be interesting to see. I'm trying to stay hopeful, but you also got to stay grounded on this. Plus, by then, who knows? We might have a few other games. Battlefield's coming out. Halo's coming out. There's going to be quite a few other things that we have to look forward to. So we may end up not really experiencing this as much because we'll probably move on to something else. A new map is enticing on November 5th. But that's the thing. Is it really a new map or is it just another skin like this last map update was? We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, that's the Call of Duty anti-cheat. We're going to move on to the Battlefield news. Just a quick one that I actually saw earlier, and I also talked about kind of way back when. When I originally played the beta, it seemed very clunky, and it felt to me like it was possibly not actually the beta. It was actually a much earlier version of the game that they shelved and waited to release as a beta while they continued working on it, trying to get a more refined product. About 6 days ago, right when the beta was closing, they came out, EA came out with that and said, oh yeah, that's actually an older version of the game. Don't worry, we got it. We're refining all the stuff that you were talking about. We're already working on that. Now, we're getting another leak from somebody who's connected to EA and some of the other guys, and is actually pretty well known in the leak world on Twitter and all these other systems, that perhaps that beta actually is in real time, and it's actually a little bit clunkier than we thought. So, first headline, Battlefield 2042 leaker claims beta build isn't as old as EA stated. So, like I said, that's originally EA said, yeah, it's old news, don't worry about it, we got it. So, new report comes from Gaming Intel, where seasoned Battlefield and Call of Duty leaker Tom Henderson claims new information about Battlefield 2042. If you go and Google Tom Henderson or look for him on Twitter, he's been pretty phenomenal with his leaks. He has a very rare miss record. He's been mostly hits. If you're into gaming or into video games, he's a good guy to follow, just because you do get that kind of hidden under the rug kind of news that normally wouldn't make it out. Somehow this guy's got it. He's connected somehow. Chiefly, Henderson's source disputes EA's recent claim that Battlefield 2042's recent beta earlier this month was actually months old. So like I said, that was originally, we thought it was an older version of the game. It felt clunky, a little unpolished. It is what it is. Chiefly, players were expressing concern over the litany of bugs and glitches in the shooter's recent open beta period, which caused developer publisher EA to release a statement reassuring players that the beta build was a few months old and not reflective of the final game's current state. Now Henderson's sources disputed this. Additionally, Henderson writes that a second source has also claimed to him that the beta isn't as old as EA claims, and the report itself claims that since Battlefield 2042 was delayed to November earlier this month, the beta's contents were never altered at all, as the beta is actually from late September. Now, originally we did have a earlier release on Battlefield, and it was delayed, which was the primary concern of, oh, the beta's months old, they had shelved it right when they thought they were going to release it. They left that version of the program out there and they kept working on it. We'll see what the leak really says. All this is a little murky to say the least. We have just over a month until we can try out the final build of Battlefield 2042 for ourselves when EA DICE's new shooter launches on November 19th. Shout out to my mom, it's her birthday. For PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S. So we will find out in about a month's time. I mean, it's the 13th of October. Got just over a month to wait. So quite a few things coming up. I haven't played Halo at all, so I can't really comment on that. But between Call of Duty and Battlefield, we will have a heavy holiday season, as we always do with video games. It is prime time for it. We can only wait and see what happens with all that. Interesting to say, like I said, anti-cheat. I will continue to play the game, enjoy it. I really haven't had that many problems with it. I know a few of my friends have. A few of the people I play online with have. We'll just have to wait and see.